Sorry guys, just ran home. We're ready to stream now. Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, looking forward to game week 14. I don't really even know the news of today. We'll find out together. But this is my team. I don't think it's going to change. The one change is I think I just started Croupier over Anderson. And yeah, thank you for first of all, Doctor, for the super chat. I'm going to quickly have a look at that. Just give me a sec, sorry. Okay, so first of all, thank you. So let's see, your team is... I was thinking either to remove Senesi to Timber or Sar to Eze. I don't really like Sar to Eze personally. I think Eze's minutes going to get worse. I think just go Senesi to Timber, my friend, because you don't really know what to do with Sar. I kind of think Sar to Anderson is not too bad. I don't really like taking a hit this week. Although you can actually go Foden. Can't you go Foden? Can't you do Sar to Foden? If you can do Sar to Foden, I would just do that, my friend. I would just do Sar to Foden. Yeah, that's kind of what my thoughts are. All right, back to chat. And sorry, obviously I was at work, so obviously that's why I couldn't see messages. Am I using my free hit? I just used it. Kroopy Jr. first sub. FPL Olympian. I don't even know. Look, I'm still gonna captain Bruno. I know Olympian has aura, if that makes sense, but it is West Ham at home. You know, hard to pass up West Ham at home, personally. You brought in Gakpo for Sar. That's quite nice. Best Sar replacement. I kind of think Minte Anderson are quite nice at the same price point. Obviously, if you can go to Foden, go to Foden. You're thinking reduced minutes for who though? Sorry. Why Kroopy first sub over Anderson? I kind of think Kroopy could start. I think they could rotate. Yeah, I know Olympian doesn't have aura this season. I'm just joking, obviously. You can have negative aura, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, I just think, I mean, let me have a think about it, right? Just in terms of my team. But God, sorry, I'm a little bit sweaty. Not ideal. I just think if Kroopy starts, it's probably worth it, you know, just the punt. Like, I guess what I'm saying is 50. If I think Kroopy could start, I think it's close. I think I would rather take the risk, right? Because Evan Nilsson's not playing too well. I don't know. How many minutes does Kroopy have to play for me to be happy? Probably the question to ask, right? Yeah. I don't know if Kroopy's, yeah, I'm gonna kind of punt Kroopy starts. Bruno, I just want to captain him personally. I mean, I just think West Ham at home, why not, you know? Take me to the promised land or whatever. Do whatever you want, Bruno. Yeah. It's kind of how I feel about that one. Human97, thank you so much for being a member for 10 months. I think you also play Esteve or Thiago. You've got Ryan Saliba plus Anderson, the defender, and Kroopy and bench. Do you mean like play Esteve or... Okay, so like... I mean, this week is pretty horrendous for Thiago. I think I'd play Esteve, man. I don't think Esteve is exceptional. I mean, it is Crystal Palace at home. I think, like, if you kind of like risks, I kind of like Esteve, because if you think about it, a lot of people are going Crystal Palace, a lot of people are going to play Thiago anyways, and I don't think the outcome's going to be that good on paper for him, so maybe I'll just go Esteve. If I'm benching KDH, I may have to buy him an injury. Can you not do that, Cesar? What's wrong with you, man? Come on. I don't control KDH negative points. Is this my team confirmed? Yeah, this is my team confirmed. Correct. If anyone wipes Arsenal CS, it will be Thiago. Not true, but there's a pretty significant chance that it is Thiago. Yeah, I agree with that. Probably like a 40% chance in terms of like all the Brentford possible goal scorers. You've got a captain Bruno, but what do you think about Munoz captain? I don't. You know what? Actually, if you think Burnley is one of the worst teams in the league, I don't mind it. Actually, I think Munoz captain's interesting. Yeah, why not? Fair enough. I just think it's such a good home game though for Bruno. Such a good home game. What do you think is Nketiah as a pun? I wouldn't do it. Like they could still technically play Kamada, Yeremy Mateta, maybe something like that. Like, keep in mind, he's also coming back from injury, so he's probably playing a little bit more minutes than even he was expecting to play, or the team was expected to play. I don't think Reece James starts, personally. I feel like this is a good game to rest him, especially after the shift he put, my God, that he put versus Arsenal. That was not meant to be language. Do we get extra free transfers for AFCON? You do. On Gameweek 16, you get 5 free transfers, so you need to spend all your free transfers next week in Gameweek 15. Freddie, congratulations on the 2 massive game weeks. 1.8 million to 214k in 2 weeks. Yo, that is cooking. Do you think Richard starts? I do think Richard starts. I think it's worth punting. But if you actually are concerned about it, I guess I wouldn't say no to Tio as a transfer. Nabadip, thank you once again. Look, you're awesome, mate. I do hope I finish 1k as well. We just need to continue to play well and get lucky like we have been so far. Personally, I honestly think I didn't even play that bad last season, but it was my worst season ever. Top 7k, Bobby, let's go. Hi, Fran. Which game week would you bench boost if you had not yet, based on my current team? On my current team, man, I mean, probably next week, personally. Riffs with T, thank you so much for joining as a member of the channel. Welcome to Captain. Feel free to connect to the Discord chat as well if you want to get access to that. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining on board. By the way, yeah, memberships. You can join, obviously, I think right next to the subscribe button. Lots of things you can do. Risk with T says -4 for Senesi to O'Reilly and Cheeto Obi for Mateta. Is there a chance O'Reilly gets dropped? I don't think O'Reilly will get dropped for this game, but I think there's a question in terms of, how many games can he start in a row? Realistically, I think that rest versus Leverkusen helps him a lot, so I do like the O'Reilly move. If you're forced to, like, if you have a really bad auto sub for like whatever that Cheeto Obi position is, like for example, like if you're playing, I don't know, someone who's like maybe even like Thiago that you want to bench, for example, and you want to go Mateta for that hit, I think that makes sense. But I will say, like, Mateta, some of the fixtures aren't that great, right? Like, game week 15 and 16 are kind of mediocre, personally. After that, though, it's actually full steam ahead once again with Mateta. But, I would be a little bit concerned about taking a -4 for him. So I would just have to ask the question, like, who do you have to play ahead of Mateta if you don't take the hit? Do you think Toa is the best 5.4 million or under defender to buy? No, I actually think it's still Nico O'Reilly, just for the long-term aspect. Like, Eddie has, you're the best Franny Super Insight. Thank you so much. Victor, thank you so much for the super chat. Thoughts on Livramento? I just prefer Toa, right? First of all, you've got Defcon, which kind of offsets the attacking returns to Livramento. And he personally also has really good attacking underlying stats as well, right? And if they can play towards set pieces, like, he's just going to be a consistent threat going forwards. So I just think DEFCON this season has made it very tough to pick a fullback. Like, the only time you really pick a fullback is when they're exceptional. So Munoz or Nico O'Reilly. How confident am I on a scale of 1 to 10 that Bruno gets more points than Haaland? Personally, I'm only like 50, I would say 55, 45. I don't think there's any particular reason why, like, I think Haaland's going to blank or something like that. I just think if Bruno has a close enough game on paper, for me, I'll take that risk every time. Is the way that I would approach that piece of logic. Maybe Saka is also interesting for me, but I think his minutes could be reduced on this match, especially since Aston Villa away is sort of still the priority game for this Arsenal team. Should I put Foden captain? I don't really like it versus Fulham away. I think it's a pretty mediocre punt. Salah, thank you so much for the super chat. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Lamans Richards, Timber O'Reilly, Salah, Rice, Minte, Anderson, Ahmad, Waltamare, Haaland cap. Welbeck, Roden, Senesi, sell Salah for -4. I don't think you should sell Salah for -4. I think this is a pretty good week to play Salah, honestly. Like, I still think he starts Sunderland. Yes, of course, if he can get benched, he can get benched again. but they kind of have to rotate, right? Like, I'd be shocked if Salah just doesn't play in a midweek game after playing 0 minutes in a previous match. I would still punt Salah this match, and after that, I'd probably transfer him out personally. Start Alderete or take a hit to do James to Teo and start Teo instead. I mean, Alderete is a pretty bad game. I probably would take the hit, to be honest. Can you explain captain pick again? I don't know. I think Bruno just has like all sorts of routes towards points. Obviously, he hasn't scored too many goals in open play, but he's still taking shots. That's the key thing. And he's got penalty share, right? West Ham have given a couple penalties away as well. I'll take the chance, I think, with Bruno, basically, from that perspective. And it is one of the best home games. West Ham's the second worst defense in the league, and it is home and away. As far as I think Saliba doesn't start, personally. I would even consider selling him if you could. Semenyo to Bruno Fernandes for a hit and to captain him. FPL GW14. Oh, man. If you're super confident that you'll captain, I think it's maybe just about worth it, because the thing is, you probably want Bruno, like, for example, the way I see Semenyo on my team is I probably sell him in Gameweek 15 and 16. Maybe I buy back in 17, like for Mbemo. With Bruno, though, like, the next 3 games are pretty amazing, so I kind of think the hit will pay off over the 3 hits. Not necessarily this week, though. But of course, if Bruno captain, doesn't flop, you're kind of flying. Try not to do emojis in the chat, guys. Try not to do emojis in the chat. So everyone can kind of ask their questions in a fair way. Also, let's quickly try and get some freebies in the chat. See if we can actually give some free memberships as well. I want to do a poll too in terms of captaincy in the meantime. So Gameweek 14 captain. So Haaland, I'm going to put there, Saka, Bruno. I'm going to put Bruno and Mbemo together because I feel like most people would pick one or the other if they have one of the two. And then I'm going to put other as an option as well. Just kind of curious to see what people are going with in terms of their captaincy options. I kind of like Mbemo as a captaincy option as well. Why Bruno over Mbemo? Just honestly, I kind of just like the all-round routes towards points. Jay Watts, so many people in the chat. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. If you guys are new here as well, please feel free to watch the cheat sheet video that I make every week. It's probably like the content that I'm the most proud of. And honestly, if you're here, you're enjoying the content as well, and you've watched some of the videos this week, please feel free to like and subscribe. That really does help support the channel. O'Reilly or Teo? I think O'Reilly long term. Teo, if you just need a defender for the next 2 weeks. What were her solar comments? I think he just said Matoma was in training, right? There's nothing exceptional. Let me quickly, if you guys want me to do a little bit of a press conference roundup, I'm happy to do that too. I mean, Sunderland, no news. Brentford, couple of knocks apparently, so we'll need to see what happens. Maybe that can have an impact on Thiago. But I think a lot of people have Thiago benched, so just keep that in mind. Mings is still out. Ismaila Sarr is apparently going to miss everything, and he's going to be assessed before AFCON. So Sarr just has to be a sell. Somerville's not available. Not too much news. Cunha's obviously been in training, so that's kind of significant. We're not going to get Amarim news, so of course, because the press conference for Man United is going to be tomorrow. Apparently, Jorginho Rutter might not be able to kind of play just because of the suspension. The concussion protocol. And I think Maresca's comments were pretty low on James. I just think the risk with Reece James as a player is, even though he could start this match, he could still get subbed at 45 minutes. And I think the exact opposite can happen as well. Senesi to O'Reilly or Teo, I'd probably still just go O'Reilly. I have the confidence in him as a player. You think Spaceman puts Cunha at 65-ish? You mean like through the, you mean Emily's kind of, like the Man United aggregators? Is that what you're trying to say, Kittel? Do I transfer out Enzo for Bruno for a -4? I think Bruno for a -4, if you're going to captain him, is worth it. If you're not going to captain him, I probably wouldn't do that move, generally speaking. Krupi or Minte? I'd definitely go Minte. I mean, I wouldn't go Krupi. I think I'm taking a risk for Krupi. What about Delict captain? My God, I don't have the confidence in that, man. I just don't. I just think attackers are better, even, like someone's gonna, for example, send a set piece to Delict. Delict is not necessarily just gonna be the only set piece magnet within the team. Like Casemiro, for example, can score a goal, like stuff like that. I just think all round too, like West Ham give shots. Yeah, I mean, And also, like, if there's a penalty as well, I mean, you want an attacker in that. Thoughts on hits before the 5 free transfers? I mean, it depends. Like, why would you take hits? Is it because you're priced out of players? Is it, I don't think hits make too much sense unless you really have terrible first sub options. How certain am I on Krupi first sub over Anderson? I'm not sure, my friends. I think it's just a risk worth taking within. Like, I think if you look at Evan Nilsson playing 80 minutes in the previous match, and he wasn't playing particularly well, and of course they just have a midweek game and then a weekend game, it probably makes sense for Krupi to actually start this match. How crazy it to trust the menu for captaincy. I don't love it too much. I just think other people have better games. Like for me, West Ham at home is better. Brentford at home is better just because Saka's probably better than Semenyo outright. And then of course Haaland is still there. You're with me on Bruno Benji? Awesome, man. Nice to see you around as well. Is it worth taking -4 for Dewsbury Hall? Absolutely not. Dewsbury Hall's the worst player on my team this week, and I'm kind of sad that I have to play Dewsbury Hall. But you know what? He's been getting so many hauls on my bench. I'm going to make sure everyone's going to get 0 or 1 or 2 points from him. Are we not underestimating West Ham? Since Nuno, their form has been mid-table at worst. I completely disagree. Under Nuno, I think their defense is still pretty mediocre. But yeah, I agree. Nuno has decent records, if you want to say that, versus United. But you know, it's a worse team than the Forest team, probably on paper. And I mean, Liverpool didn't really challenge West Ham, but if you look at some of the previous matches, like honestly, they've been shipping so much XG, and I'm not even just talking about the 2 penalties that they've given away as well. Who's the one player who isn't in your team you would want to have this week? Timber. You're in Timber for sure. Start Dewsbury Hall or Thiago. I think I would do Dewsbury Hall. Do I think Richards will start? I think he will. I just think there's a big difference between a European Conference League game versus, let's say, a Premier League game. But I could be wrong, right? I could be the one who's looking stupid because Richards is benched. So you know what? I don't want to be stupid, but, you know, so be it. Enzo or Anderson or Minte? I'd probably go Anderson this week. I just feel like Anderson is kind of similar to Minte, and maybe you can actually save yourself a little bit more money. What do you think is the best forward aside from Haaland for the upcoming 10 fixtures? Look, at the end of the day, the forward position is just so boring. I think I would just go Mateta or Thiago. Like, at the same time, though, you know, Isak during AFCON could take pens, but the minutes just aren't good enough, man. Like, he's just not fit. And, you know, there's too much rotation. They've got 2 center forwards. They don't play the 2 center forwards ever together, really. So, you know, and the main thing as to why I say that is Gakpo plays well. And also, I don't know. I think you take a lot out of both Isak and Ekitike's game playing them on the wing. Yes, of course, both players can kind of drift wide. But, yeah, I don't think it makes sense. Until, of course, AFCON, where they're kind of going to be forced to just figure things out. Who's better this week, Enzo or Minte? Probably Minte if you think Palmer starts. Just not sure who, though, Fran. Stella, thank you so much for the super chat. Start Ahmad over Welbeck. Yeah, bro, I would go Ahmad for sure. This is Ahmad's best game, right? You have to start him. My defense is pretty elite. Virgil, Tarkowski, Guardiola, Anderson looking to recruit Thiago Lacroix. I kind of like Thiago just because I think the Palace run is about to end. Like, I own a lot of Palace, but I personally think I'll probably be shipping them out soon too. Who do you think is the best forward aside from Haaland for the upcoming 10 fixtures? I've literally answered that question. What am I doing? Isak Gaming 17 watch list? Pretty much, yeah. Who's the better this week? Why am I reading the same questions? Njai versus Pedro versus Gyökeres, which 2 to play? I'd probably just go Pedro and Gyökeres. I don't think Njai has a great game, so yeah. Van Hecke or Truffert? It is Van Heck, to be fair. I'd probably start Van Heck. You know, Aston Villa's defense, or offense, sorry, has still been pretty poor. Gakpo, Rice long term. I probably still prefer Rice long term. You can go Haaland captain, Spider. I don't think there's anything wrong with Haaland captain. It's just I'm happy to take risks, and yeah, I'm still gonna go Bruno captain just because I like it. Try not to spam in chat, guys, so everyone can ask a question. Please feel free to subscribe though whilst you're here. You know, maybe join as a member as well. Your questions get prioritized. Would you play Calafiori or Njai? I'd play Calafiori because I think the Miles Lewis Skelly sub was pretty poor, so I really have to think that he's gonna. I think Miles Lewis Skelly could get benched again. I guess jumping on the top price rise tonight could be solid over going for a pass defender. Then yeah, it makes sense. I mean, for me, right, like I need to think about my team, right, tonight, because also one thing is, okay, people can get injured tomorrow, which obviously, like, I'll be the stupidest guy in the world if I make a transfer for a player that gets injured tonight. So Senesi is going to drop tonight, but that's not going to hurt my transfer value, so I don't really mind that. The problem for me, I guess, is if is Semenyo close to dropping anytime soon is probably the question that I have. Minte is going to rise tonight, which is nice because I guess I don't think I'm going to go Minte. I'm going to miss Minte versus West Ham at home, which really hurts me. I guess I'll miss Thiaw versus Tottenham at home, but like, I mean, at the end of the day, if I do like Newcastle enough, I guess Burnley at home is good enough for me to go back into. So I could also be going Thiaw tonight anyways. And I think that obviously the pro is like we have some games tonight, right? So what kind of moves would I be comfortable doing? Like, for example, the Newcastle game finishes, I would be pretty comfortable just doing like a move like Senesi to Thiaw post deadline for me. Like for this game week, I guess like to bench Dewsbury Hall and play Thiaw, I don't think that's enough like increased or added value within my team to justify making a move like that, especially if, you know, there's still a game in hand. So now that obviously if Newcastle play that game and the next game is Burnley at home, I could just go Thiaw tonight myself. I could actually go Thiaw and O'Reilly and Foden. I think those are the kind of moves that I'm trying to make, right? Let me see how I can do that within my own team. So let's say I do Foden. The sad thing is, yeah, no Minte for me, but you know, that's life. Let's see, what am I gonna do here? Let's go Thiaw, right? Can I afford it somehow? Oh my god, I have to go Mbumo out, don't I? I have to go Virgil out, actually. I could go Virgil out. Is it the worst move in the world? Yeah, looks like a pretty bad move, Virgil out, but then I think, is O'Reilly better than Virgil is probably the question to ask. This is basically what I'm planning, I guess. Goodness gracious. It's going to be such a bad team for Gameweek 15 though, right? Gameweek 16, sorry. I mean, Anderson is a great game. Check. O'Reilly. Ugh. I mean, Thiaw is okay in that game. It's kind of a bad defense for 16, but then I think the team is good for 16 as well. Like, I don't mind Foden too much in a game like that. I can still afford to bench double pass defense. I think it's worth it just because it would make my 15 team that much better, right? Like, that's a possibility. I mean, there's always a possibility where I could still sell Mateta after this week, right? Like, if I go Mateta down to Thiago, this gives me money in the bank. You know, I can go Foden now, right? Boom. And then I can go... Yes, sir. This is, I mean, this is probably like... This is like... If I really don't trust Mateta, like let's say Mateta gets subbed early tonight, I might just do it, you know, because it clearly shows that the manager's not going to back him over like a dense fixture period. And then this team is actually, we're kind of chilling, right? That's a good team. Not flexing on anyone, but that's a good team, I think. Okay, sorry, chats. Okay, J Watts, member for 15 months. Thank you so much as a manager as well. Thoughts on hits before... I literally answered that question. What am I doing? Birdman2978. I actually missed that. Welcome to manager. Thank you for joining as a manager of the channel. Anyone as well, if you're interested in joining as a member of the channel, feel free to join next to the subscribe button. You can get access to the private Discord channel, one-on-one DMs with me, which I'll try to interact with you and your team. And, you know, generally, I think it is just a tool to support me, but I am planning, when I plan to, I think there'll be some changes in terms of my full-time employment. Like, I'm not going full-time FPL, I'm not saying that, but I will have a break sometime soon within next year, and I think I'll try to get as much members content as possible. And I'm trying to add that to my calendar. You know, it's just been a very rough period in terms of work for me. But sorry, Amarildo, thank you so much for your super chat. 2 free transfers, Pope, Dubravka, sell Pope or roll, and Sar for who? I think you have to sell Pope, I agree. Tell you what, like, let's just talk about goalkeepers for a second, right? So if you're selling Pope, who do you want to buy in the short term? I don't know, man. I think, God, I'm trying to think, like, you know what? I kind of like Verbruggen, man. Verbruggen, Dubravka, I think works well. Like, the only bad Brighton games in the future are going to be game weeks 16 and 18. And honestly, on game week 16 and 18, I think Dubravka has decent games. He's got Fulham at home, 16, Everton at home on 18. So I would just go for Bruggen, save yourself some money, and maybe you can upgrade Sar. Could you suddenly use that money to upgrade Sar to Foden? Is that possible for you? I think your defense is cool, man. Timber, Virgil, Richards, I think you're chilling. Obviously, if you could get Diouf, you know, get rid of him in the future, that would be ideal. Something like that. Does that make sense, Emeraldo? Right. All right, chat. Let's just end the poll. Lots of Bruno, lots of Cap, lots of Haaland. Very little of anything else. To add to the DEFCON context, West Ham is a super game for opposition CDMs to get DEFCON. Both Anderson and Caicedo failed in that regard. Yeah. Although I don't think it's fair to say that Anderson's a CDM personally. Help with my bench headache. FPL chat on Discord picture for picture. Where's your? Sorry, is that? Wait, Karen, are you messaging me in the Discord server? Where have you messaged me? Is that? Okay, wait one sec. Are you messing in the private chat, bro? Okay, I can see it now. Tell you what, I just need to add your rank. So you can get access to the chat as well. You're doing John Pedro to Walter next week, then we get 5 free transfers. You don't need to save transfers. You're more interested in price changes, so you don't get locked out. I think that makes sense, bro. Honestly, Walter makes a lot of sense as a short-term temporary move for sure. Any tips how to beat my team? I think Minte's good, Timber's good, Anderson is good, Waltermod next week is good. Foden this week is, I guess, okay. Newcastle defense is interesting. Like, these are ways that I think my team, like, everyone's gonna have good teams in FPL, right? I can only own 11 players at one time per week. So yeah, the way I see it is, that's how I feel like you can attack my team. At the same time, let me tell you right now, I have no interest in doing worse than any of you guys in chat. Can't decide captain and Mbeumo, Haaland, Osaka. All are good. That's how I would approach it. Choose the one that you like the most and don't get upset about the outcome, is what I would say. Thoughts on Salah captaincy? Honestly, if you think that he's going to play good minutes, then go for it. I just think he's kind of in murky territory for me. Thiago versus Munoz in a free transfer. If you could still go Munoz, I think I'd probably go Munoz personally. And Mbeumo or Foden, I kind of like going Foden long term. Is it bad to buy Richards this week? I really don't know, my friend, honestly. I own Richards, and you'll call me stupid if he gets benched, right? 7.7 million for a Sar replacement. I don't know, man. I'd probably go Minte still. I just don't think anyone above Minte's price point really makes too much sense. Amarildo, you can afford Foden or go Minte and Verbruggen. Minte Verbruggen's nice too, man. Those are good moves. I think both make sense. Like, I wouldn't be... I feel like both moves are good ways to attack the game week. Thank you so much for the super chat, though. But yeah, I kind of like Foden for the long term if you just think about it, because it's like everyone's going to be moving for a midfielder. Let's say like the 50% of the game that owns Mbeumo right now, they're just going to go Foden in a couple of weeks' time. So I'd probably try to attack it like that. Best Saliba replacement, 0.3 in the bank and 2 free transfers. Can you go Timber? I would just go Timber right now. But if you can't, it's kind of tough. I kind of think I would just go to Tio or just go Nico O'Reilly and kind of say, okay, fine, I've got a bad Fulham away game, but I'm going to go with it. Do you think 2 out of Cunha, Saliba, and Richards start? Definitely. I'd probably punt on Cunha and Richards starting. I don't even think Saliba is going to start unless Arteta's going to be a big fraud. But it's also like, why would you lie before Brentford at home? If you lied before Aston Villa away, I wouldn't trust you. But Brentford at home, I don't know. I just don't see what's the point of lying. But maybe it's like, maybe it's the lie before Aston Villa away. That's the genius play here. As I said, I haven't read Sun Tzu's Art of War. So, you never know with Arteta. Doctor says, or Dr. Yazana Abdullah says, so I do have money to upgrade Sar to Foden. That would leave me with Senesi 4.8 and 0.5 in the bank. I would do that, my friend, bro, because you can go Nico O'Reilly next week. Who would I captain if I don't have Bruno? Within my own team, I'd say Mbeumo. But then I think Saka and Haaland makes sense. Like, just choose one of the two if you have one of the two. Let me check your team again one sec, because I just need to remember. Also, Kearney, I think I've added you to the members channel, so you can have a look at that now in the future. Sorry, Doctor, going back to your team, bro. I don't know. I think if you think Saka's gonna play good minutes, I would captain Saka. If you think he's not, then just go Haaland. There's nothing wrong with the Haaland captaincy, guys. It's literally Erling Haaland. KDH or Njai, I'd go KDH because Njai's gonna go to AFCON. Rodon or Thiago to start. I'd probably go Thiago. I mean, I don't really have too much faith in Leeds versus Chelsea anyways, right? So you might as well just go for some guy who's like base points is like 2 points. Why am I choosing Bruno over Mbeumo? But like, let's not pretend like Bruno's not gotten good chances himself, right? First of all, he can take penalties. I know he's missed 2 of them. But at the end of the day, like, where are we in terms of the midfielder points? Like, Bruno's already ahead of Mbeumo, right? Just by a bit. And he's missed 2 penalties, right? So, like, I guess if things go relatively to plan in terms of, like, how all these chances have come towards the season and we revisit everything, like, Bruno should be outscoring Mbeumo by a lot. And they're both good options. That's the thing. I think this is West Ham at home. So you just need to know that you should be enjoying life of one of the two. I could get it wrong, right? There's been weeks where Bruno outscores Mbeumo by 10 points. There's weeks where Mbeumo outscores Bruno by 10 points. But what I'm trying to say is, if you told me to bet 100 times, I would think Bruno outscores Mbeumo 60 times at least. If you think Mbeumo holds better, go for it. And look, I also own Mbeumo so I can get points from him, right? At the end of the day. Like, I'm not someone who owns Bruno because I think Mbeumo's bad, or, you know, vice versa. Are you making plans for a Timber move? Yeah, Gameweek 16, I'm going to go for Timber 100%. Mateta versus Mbeumo for captaincy, bro, I don't think it's even close. I think it's Mbeumo for sure, because you never know with Mateta. Like, his minutes could still be poor. He's an older man. Yeah, I don't know. And I think home and away makes a big difference. Palace look a bit tired if you want to kind of add narratives to it. Bruno has 2 goals plus 1 assist in the last 10 home PL games. I would captain Mbeumo or Haaland, but I still understand your routes to points. Yeah, but you can't look at FPL like that, right? It's not about like people only perform the same way that they do at home and then they only perform the same way that they do away, because that's not even like a reasonable argument, because you're playing different teams home and away as well, right? Like, I don't know, that's almost like saying that Bruno can't ever be a good home play, which I just can't subscribe to that argument, basically. It is almost the way that I see it personally. How do you think Raya... Do I think Raya is essential? No, I don't think so. I don't think he's essential. I mean, he's at 5.9 million. You don't need to buy him. James, good buy? No, I don't think James is a good buy, because rotation's 100% going to hurt James. Human 97, Human 97. Should I bench Foos, Dubravka, Anderson, Fulham, Thiago, Krupi? Bro, I really don't think so, man. I just think, I mean, it is good. It is a good Dubravka game. Then you got 2 home games in Thiago. Maybe Krupi doesn't start next week. Fair enough. I don't think that's a bad bench boost. I'd probably risk it. Any team leaks? Very good question. I don't think so. I don't know. I think with Man City, right, just because like Foden, like, I mean, realistically, I would be shocked if Foden was benched. I would be shocked if O'Reilly was benched. I'd be shocked if Haaland's benched. Do you care about any other FPL players? Maybe Doku? I think Doku still starts though, personally, because it's like, let's be honest, when City needed to win the game, they kept Doku on the pitch. And that's all I need to say. So I think like even Doku is going to start. And also everyone got rotated just the previous match, right? Versus Leverkusen. So I feel like everyone that you want to start with good minutes on City is going to start. Like Guardiola, Ruben Diaz, probably Krupi starting. I don't know if Krupi starts. I have no information on Krupi. I am just taking a punt here. You haven't heard people mention Bruno's low G at home. But it is a small sample size though, right? But what do you mean? Bruno played 10 different teams those 10 matches. Yeah, but the thing is, like, he didn't play 10 teams at home. He didn't play 10 teams away. Like, are you factoring in previous seasons as well? Or even, like, some of the previous last season Amarim numbers in terms of the home sample? Like, why do we have to restrict it to, like, 6 home games, if that makes sense? Do you kind of get what I'm saying? I just don't think, like, to me, that I'm not going to take anything away from that. Like, people were saying, you know, don't captain Haaland because his record versus Bournemouth was this and this. Or, you know, like, they could have done the same argument for Mateta versus Bournemouth. He never scored a goal versus Bournemouth, and suddenly he scores 3. Should we take FPL Olympians jinx more seriously? You should not take it seriously. Start Rodon or Thiago. I would say I'd probably start Thiago anyways, because I just think that the floor of Rodon could be pretty awful. Arthur Sudaria. Hey Fran, thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. Let's say we have the same team but don't own KDH because you lack 0.1. Would you do Mateta to Thiago and -4 for Bates to KDH? I don't think you need KDH if you're going to go Thiago though, right, bro? Maybe you can go for someone better. Maybe you can go for, I don't know, Anderson. You can go for maybe like even Minte if you can afford it. Yeah. I don't mind going Thiago. Like, as I said, maybe I'll go Thiago next week anyways. KDH or Thiago? I probably would just play KDH. Did I miss the super chat? I'm really sorry, Joseph. I apologize about that. Rogers and cash to Gakpo and Konate for a -4. Apologies, I did miss that. Rogers and cash to Gakpo and Konate. Ooh, Konate though. I just think Konate's a bit risky, but they don't have anyone really playing football, do they? I wouldn't go Konate. I'd probably go Gakpo. Can I answer like that? First of all, I want to say that I prefer Foden to Gakpo if you can go to Foden, which also means that I guess if you, I think the alternative to Konate is probably someone like Malik Thiaw, which I prefer, or even O'Reilly, even though the O'Reilly game is much worse than the Konate game this week. I just think that long term I'd prefer O'Reilly than Konate. But yeah, I think I do back just the idea of selling Rodgers in cash. I think I don't think Aston Villa is the team that I would back going forwards. All right, thank you, chat. John Wicken, thank you so much for sending across the message. Hi, Fran, start Richards. I would just punt Richards, man. I just feel like the upside's good there. Yeah, Thiaw's a great replacement, and that's not because he scored a brace, right? The reality is he's still playing Tottenham at home, Burnley at home. Do you think Mateta's still a good pick with Sarri out? I think he's better, right? His minutes actually look better with Sarri out. Thanks for the answer. Love your content. Keep up the good work. Am I sacking KDH next week, even if he's going to perform well this week? No, I'm not going to sack KDH myself. I'm just saying, like, if you want to consider an alternative to KDH, you can definitely do that because you're actually spending less money than me on the striker position. So therefore, you have more money to spend in the midfield position. For me, I think because I'm likely to keep Mateta and I'm likely to keep KDH anyways, it's not a consideration for me. But because obviously, like, you're probably making your team fresh. Birdman, definitely going to have a look at Discord as well, my friend. So you got 0.1 min in the bank and weird plays do nothing. So I like Holland Mateta. Yeah, facts. Saka, Bruno, Semenyo, Enzo. I don't like Njai, so I think he can go. But then at the same time, I guess you want to go Foden, right? In the near term. My only option for him, but I don't think you need Mbemo this week because I feel like the priority is to still go Foden. And I think you just do that next week, right? Because if you play Holland Mateta this week, you play Virgil, you play Thiaw, you play Richards, and then who's the bench? I guess you have like Keane first bench, probably over Rodon, right? Does that make sense? I guess if you have 2 free transfers to some sort of Foden move, I kind of like that. Honestly, bro, if you can go Semenyo to Foden, maybe Njai to Anderson, that could be pretty interesting. What do you think? Because you still want Foden next week, right? If you think about your team, right? Because if you hold free transfers, you're going to go for City players anyways. A City league would crash the servers. I mean, but the thing is, like, what type of City league would be needed to crash the servers, right? We would literally need Haaland benched, right? Joe, thank you so much for the super chat. And Janksta, welcome back to Captain as well. Nice to see you around, my friend. But back to Joe's super chat. Thank you once again. Start KDH, Richards, O'Reilly. First of all, I think I would start Richards. Just punt that he starts. Then I'd have O'Reilly. Then I'd have KDH. Willem Rayman, I hope that's how you pronounce your name. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Senesi to Thiaw, Raya to Pope. Wait, sorry, bro. Are you saying... No, don't go Raya to Pope. Pope's injured. I'm kind of confused, though, sorry. Are you saying you've got Pope? I'm a bit lost here. So what are the transfers that are you... Because you're saying Senesi to Thiaw, which makes sense. But then you're also saying, or maybe Raya to Pope. What's going on here? Pope's injured, so you can't do that move. I would just go Senesi to Thiaw and call it a day. Why so many Palace? They're a good team with good DevCon, and they're playing versus Burnley. I mean, double Palace defense is good for this week. It doesn't mean that you need to go double Palace going forwards. I probably will have. I will probably like go out of my Palace defenders next week, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna sell them this week. They're versus Burnley. Saka's gonna get benched. I can't really see it. Maybe. I can't see it though. Is Bruno playing higher up now? I don't think so. Senesi to Enzo, O'Reilly to Minte? Yeah, it makes sense to me. Do you not think Cash or Dean are overlooked? I don't think so. I think Aston Villa is kind of overperforming, if anything, if I can say so. Like, Wolves at home was the best game, right? The best game's gone now, like, for a while. Elliot Anderson or Igor Thiago? I'd play Elliot Anderson this week for sure. Any team news? I don't think so. I don't think there's much City rotation. That's kind of my expectation. But yeah, Birdman, I kind of think you wait for next week for Foden type moves, or you just... Yeah, I don't really like it. I don't like the Mbemo move because I just think Foden I would hold in a higher priority anyways long term. So it's like going Mbemo and then ignoring the chance to go Foden isn't really worth it for you. Janksa says Enzo or Welbs. I would probably play Enzo, my friend. I just feel like I can trust Enzo's minutes a lot more than Welbeck, Old man Welbeck just doesn't have the same minutes. All right, 14 minutes to make moves. And then I'm going to make a move to the toilet in 14 minutes. Basil Bijou, thank you so much for the super chat. Semenyo, Gabriel, Sar, the Timber, Anderson, and Mbemo, Foden. I would do Timber, Anderson, Foden. I know Mbemo has a better fixture anyways, but still, I would go Foden long term. Burnley keeper plays Wolves at home in Gameweek 38. We have so much cash, bro. All right, start Thiago, KDH. I think DV8. I would go KDH for sure. Like, I mean, I just kind of respect the Arsenal from that perspective, right? Foden to Minte or save the transfer? Wait, why are you going Foden to Minte? Don't make any transfers. Or do you mean Minte to Foden? I'm kind of lost. Enzo and Mbemo for sure. Lock your team. 30 minutes left. If you guys are here, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Please feel free to like and subscribe. It really does help support the channel. And yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for showing out. Senesi to O'Reilly. Bro, I think... Yeah, I think that makes sense as a move. Is it worth going Minte over Anderson next week if it means ignoring O'Reilly? I actually don't think so. I think I'd rather have Anderson, personally. I think O'Reilly's incredible. Hit the start O'Reilly over Anderson? No, that's not worth it. I mean Minte to Foden. Yeah, Minte to Foden, I would do that. You're welcome. Thank you, Squin85. Captain Mbemo or Haaland? I personally would go Mbemo, but there's nothing wrong with going Haaland. I think even Saka's up there for captaincy. Like, there's a lot of close calls. Personally, I have Bruno top in my mind. What's the plans for getting Palmer looking ahead? I just think that the issue with Palmer is that I don't think his minutes are going to be good enough, right? I just can't see myself going Palmer anytime in the future. I feel like we literally have to wait at least like a couple game weeks to go into Palmer for me to feel comfortable that his minutes are going to be good. Good luck for the game week as well to you, M.97. Start KDH or Thiago. KDH for me. Grant, Xhaka or Thiago. I will go Thiago for sure. Good luck. Sorry, literally. Yeah, good luck for the game week again. Grealish as a pick. No, I think Grealish is a pretty terrible pick personally. I just think like KDH does kind of what Grealish does for cheaper. First of all, like, okay, fine, maybe Grealish is slightly better in open play, but at the end of the day, Dewsbury Hall has, you know, he's shown that he can get DEFCON the same rate as Grealish. It's not great for either of them, but, you know, he's on set pieces, a bit of a bonus magnet, and, you know, recently, at least he's like sort of moving into attacking positions in the box. He's been called Chelsea's best player by the manager, Everton at home. Yeah, he is Chelsea's best player, but it doesn't mean that you're going to throw him out there and play 90 minutes a game, right? Like, the reality is that you have fitness issues. You know, it's not like, for example, like Haaland, like when he's not fit, he'll just like not even be in the squad for an EFL Cup match. And it's not like Chelsea are going to prioritize every single Premier League game and not a Champions League game. The main thing for Palmer is that he needs to work his way back to full fitness. So the first game is probably going to be like, you know, maybe 45 minutes, maybe 60 minutes. And then it could be like a couple 70s and 80s, especially when the fixture period is dense. Like, you just can't afford to run him 90, 90, 90 because that's how he got injured in the first place as well. You think Xerxes overlooked? Yeah, but the problem is, right, with Xerxes is like with Cunha back in the team, is his minutes going to be perfect? I don't think so. I know he looked good in the second half versus Palace, but that's not good enough for me to say that Xerxes overlooked. Does that make sense? Because I just can't guarantee the minutes are there, especially when Mount's playing well. Like, maybe Cunha is not playing super well, and you can say Xerxes kind of like deserves some minutes. But no, like, absolutely not. I'm not touching Xerxes. Worried about Salah's minutes. I would not cap him personally, yeah. I'll be honest. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. You going for Bruno captain? Yeah, I am. That's locked in. Start Anderson or O'Reilly? O'Reilly. Hey, Fran, bench one, Minte, Thiago for sure. As a bench option, of course. Chalobah, Grealish. Chalobah for sure. Haaland captain is totally fine. You know, I would do that. Sorry, I'm trying to read for some leaks potentially. I don't think we have any news on City though, so I'm just gonna quickly troll for the next few minutes, and obviously we can go back to like chat questions like very very quickly. Appreciate you guys are looking for answers and stuff like that, but I just think it'd be helpful if we could actually find if there's any leaks today. Yeah, I don't know. Um, there's like literally no City leaks that I can see in the distance. If I want to put it like that. What do I think about Gakpo captain? I don't love it too much, to be fair. I think Sunderland's defense is still decent, and I don't know. Liverpool's numbers versus West Ham weren't like that impressive either. Ultimately, Liverpool losing Salah isn't on the pitch when going down well at home. Yeah, but I mean, but like honestly, do people actually genuinely think that Salah's like not a problem? Like he kind of is, right? Green arrow to 10k. Well, it depends on big Bruno Fernandes, right? So oh God, I'm gonna be praying for that Thursday night. Bench and Dyer or Truffet. I'd bench and Jai, I think. Bruno triple cap. If you want to go for it, go for it. I kind of feel like just save it for Haaland versus West Ham, right? Ultimate captain. I don't love it. Worth getting it, but to be fair, I mean he could have penalties for like 50 minutes. Could be worth it. I don't know. I think that Tottenham are bad, but like, are they that bad? I think West Ham's worse, right? Like better midfield punt for Bruno, and then Haaland's Haaland. You think Salah's fine, but like in what sense though? Like you mean to play 90 minutes? Tottenham are awful, but it's not like Walterman's some sort of god. That's all I'm trying to say. Like his underlying stats are like they're good. Like I think he's at 0.4 NPXG, right? But then it's like Haaland is a monster on like 1 NPXG with full pen share as well, even though he misses a lot of them. You know, and like Bruno's like there to take West Ham at home too. If I knew Salah starts, would I still captain or Bruno? I would still go Bruno personally. I'm betting against the ex-Olympian curse. No, Olympians betting with me. Do you understand? Start Thiago. No, I'm kidding. Start Thiago over Anderson. I just think Bruno's the logical pick personally. Respect to Olympian for finally doing a good captaincy pick. Kidding. I'm pretty low down in my league, so should I just take some risks and captain Bruno? I don't even think it's that risky personally. I think this is a really good pick. Like I'm not here. I'm not captaining Bruno because I think it's risky. I'm captaining Bruno because I think it's actually the best captaincy on paper. So I'll take my chances. Should I take a chance and go Saka captain? I think it's pretty good. Worth getting Mbeumo for Enzo? Probably not because of AFCON soon. Why Bruno better than Mbeumo? Just like overall, like I think an open play creation is a bit better. So like bonus kind of potential too. And then small chance of DEFCON. Very small chance, but like it adds up to everything, right? Like the fact that Bruno's missed 2 penalties this season and Mbeumo's overperformed on goals a little bit and Bruno is still on top of him in terms of points, to me is kind of like, that's enough, right? Bruno's actually underscored his XG as well. Not because of the penalties, but even like if you take away the penalties, he's also undershot some of like the long shots he's taken, etc. Like in terms of the pile up of the XG. So like eventually we just need to send it, right? Last call, bro. Captain Haaland versus Saka versus Foden versus Enzo. I think I'd just go Haaland versus Saka and take a decision on that. Personally, I would actually go Haaland, but if you think Saka minutes are good, they're there. Lulelo. All right. I got there at least. Gakpo, Mbeumo, Haaland captaincy. Probably Mbeumo for me. The underlying stats for Fulham are incredible. Right now, NPXGC, they're third in the league. In terms of XGC, they're like, I think like 5th or 6th. But yeah, one of the best defenses right now. Thoughts on Haaland's minutes? I think I can't see why they would be bad, right? He already got his rest versus Leverkusen as well. It's an MGS reference. Yeah, worst part is I don't even know what MGS is, right? Is that Metal Gear Solid? Okay, I got there at least. Heard some things about Richards not starting. I mean, everyone thinks Richards going to get benched in the midweek game, but I think this is the first Premier League game you have for Richards, so you can't really be sure what let's say Glasner is going to do. Guardiola going to be dropped? Wait, who's saying that? Do we have city leaks? Where? Hello? Wait, what am I missing here? Who's predicting this? I personally wouldn't trust it. I don't see any like recognized leakers saying this. You saw online? Who is saying it though? Sorry, man. I just don't think we would have city leaks after I confirmed Tioin. I don't think the city's starting leaks personally, guys. I want to be honest here. I just think Foden, O'Reilly's safe. That's all I can say. I just from my understanding of football, literally. You know, took a -8. Yeah, I'll pray for you. And Jair Minte. I mean, I know Guardiola could be dropped, but he literally got rested midweek, though. Like, why are you dropping him again, though? Foden and O'Reilly will start. Cherky too. I don't know. Let's find out in a few minutes, I guess. Anyways, but I mean, like the thing is, let's be honest. Like, I don't know who's in the business of owning Cherky, I guess. Lucas says, should I play cash against Minte, Porro, or take a -4 for Timber O'Reilly? Bro, I think yeah, just take a -4 for Timber. That's a really good game for Timber, anyways. I know Guardiola's been playing bad, but at the same time, it's not like, for example, like what? It's not like when Stones played midweek. It was like an exceptional performance, right? Thanks. Yeah, the rank is nice. A lot of CCs going Bruno. I mean, we're always on Bruno. It always had to be Bruno. I mean, come on, man. It's West Ham at home. Please, it has to work at least once. When is the last time I punted against West Ham at home and it didn't work for me? Let me think about that quickly. Saka, I guess. No, I don't know. He took a penalty that game and I didn't own him. I'm just waffling right now. Oh, Bournemouth, I guess. And then Semenyo didn't even turn up. That was nice. All right, guys. Please make your moves. Literally 1 minute. Bruno is my captain. I don't care. It could be wrong. You know, I'll stand by it. Let's not get hurt too bad. Best of luck this game week as well, guys. Please lock in your moves. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. That really helps support the channel. I have to go back to work right after this. So yeah, I wish you guys all the best. That's it, guys. We have sent it. Right? We good to go? All right, we're good to go. Peace out. I'll see you guys soon. Have a lovely game week. Content's going to start incredibly. Haaland can't blank 3 games in a row. Well, if he can blank 1 game in a row, he can blank 2 games in a row. And if he can blank 2 games in a row, he can blank 3 games in a row. That's how I see it. Right? Because imagine if you use the reverse logic, right? If he scored 1 game in a row, then he scored 2. Are you saying he got scored 3 games in a row?